how do we, as believers, approach our departure? What is your thoughts on death and dying? This story may not be popular with the funeral homes in town, nor the monument suppliers, but it will relate how one woman plans to say goodbye to those who will remain here when she leaves to meet her Maker. It was Friday morning, and my friend had just received a phone call to be rescheduled to see her doctor. This was not good news. It meant that she had tested positive for cancer. She was overwhelmed. Her entire being was filled with fear. There were so many things left undone, and now it seemed there could be no time left to ever get them done. She retreated to the bedroom to be alone, then cried for a long time. She knew her tears would be unstoppable, as her mind imagined the worst. She was hoping to release her emotions enough to be able to talk in a controlled manner when she tried to relate her circumstances to those closest to her. It was 10 o'clock when she called me. "I got some tough news today," she said softly. "What can you do?" she whispered. "You exercise, you try to eat right, and look what it gets you. Cancer. I can't believe this is happening to me." I tried to imagine what she was feeling, but never muttered a word as she continued. "I'm definitely going under the knife. Oh my gosh, this is still such a shock." "How would you feel?" she said. "Be honest with me. What if your doctor was to give you the same news? How would you handle it? What would you do?" In that pause between us, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to quick fix her. She is the closest thing I'll ever have to having a real sister. We shared a special kind of love, and because of that, her news was causing me immense pain, and I don't like to feel pain. What I'd like to do is heal her or say something to make her feel all better. But in my heart, I knew the best thing to do was to sit there and share it with her, to listen attentively as the sentences poured from her lips. It's never easy to hear a loved one bear their pain, but as she did, I became conscious of her burden and felt her deep sorrow. "I'd cry," was my response. "I'm not brave. I'd be thinking of my children. I'd wonder if I was going to be around for their weddings or if I'd ever see a grandchild. There's still so much I haven't done. I haven't even got to retirement yet. I'd cry till I couldn't cry any more. Then I guess I'd do whatever I had to do to move on." "What would that be?" she questioned. "I'd look death square in the face, make my plans for it, and then live with an unquenchable passion, knowing this life really does have a deadline." "Wouldn't you feel morbid planning your own demise?" she asked. "Would you rather force someone else into making those plans for you?" I responded. "To tell you the truth, I've never given it much thought until now," she said. "Do you have any plans made?" "Well, it's not in writing yet. I still have to work at the particulars, but I know what I want." "And what's that?" she asked reluctantly. "When it's time for me to renew my license, I'm becoming an organ donor. They can have whatever they want. The Bible says I'm going to have a new body, so if anyone can get use out of this old one, it would make me happy to be a part of the world and to give her till the end. I intend to buy the cheapest casket. Since I'm not even going to be there, I don't care. I will arrange for the cheapest way possible ahead of time, and I want the box closed. When the milk is gone, you throw away the carton. My spirit won't be there, just my carton. That's all that'll be left, and I don't want everyone looking at it. If my children need closure, fine, they can look. Then close the box and put a picture on top. And no funeral home for me." "Don't you even want a church service?" she exclaimed, hardly believing what she was hearing. "That's exactly what I want," I said, "but I'm still trying to figure out who I could get to make my video." "Video?" she said quietly. "Yes, I want to reassure everyone who reads my obituary that it was merely a formality, but that I'm more alive on that day than I ever was before. I want to tell them that this is not goodbye, it's only till we meet again. If they really want to do something in memory of me, then be good to my children, because they don't have a mom here anymore. They all like brown sugar fudge and shortbread cookies, but one son likes them on the dark side. Hug them lots, and remember, Christmas is when they'll miss me most. Then I'll thank God for the food and tell them to head for the fellowship hall for a party. I'll leave them with fight the good fight, and I'll see you when you get here. Bye for now, and I'll say hello to Jesus for you." Then blast that song, Spirit in the Sky. "Is that it?" she asked. "The only thing left is the burying, and I'm not sure about that. In the Old Testament, Abraham buried Sarah, but I don't see where Jesus ever talks about Mary being buried. And if he didn't think it was important to mention where his mother was buried, maybe it's not that important. Mary and Jesus had the same DNA. They were family, and Abraham was only a friend. My kids may disagree, but all the more money saved. Leave it to you, she said, to come up with something right out in left field. You always did think differently. That's one of the reasons why I love you so much. Thanks for listening and being real. I love you too, I said. Then we hung up the phone. She called me recently to express the pure joy she had at just waking up from her 6-hour surgery. The best news followed. They had gotten all the cancer. The one thing this experience left us both with is a deadline. If you were given a deadline to spend $1 million, you'd get right at it. This is Lynda Lewis challenging you to make the best of every minute of every day, because we all have a deadline to meet.